Welcome, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're heading to Italy. Well, virtually at least. We're going deep into a really fascinating personal travel vlog.
Yeah, someone explored Venice, Florence, and then Tuscany. It's packed with stories, some amazing food finds, and just really honest moments. So our mission here is to pull out more than just, a trip report. We're hunting for those practical tips, insights into how you can really experience Italy, not just see the sights. And definitely the food discoveries. Prepare for some serious wanderlust.
Absolutely. And it's not just about where to go, is it? What's really interesting here is seeing how travel, this kind of travel, can actually be quite transformative. It shows how you can learn to just, well, go with the flow, find those little hidden spots, and maybe even change how you think about food entirely when you're exploring. Kind of a mix of planning and spontaneity. Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting with Venice. Now, the traveler kicked things off pretty smartly. Flew into Milan, not Venice directly. Then they took a train to Venice. Apparently, flying into a big hub like Milan can be quite a bit cheaper than aiming for those smaller tourist airports like Marco Polo. Great tip right away. Saves cash for, well, other things.
Yeah, exactly. And that train trip from Milan, they mentioned grabbing business class tickets.
All right, it was only like, what, 10 or 15 euro extra?
Something like that. But they said the comfort, more space, just a more relaxing journey after flying. Totally worth it. Made the trip feel faster.
It shows how a small upgrade can sometimes make a big difference, especially when you're tired from travel.
Definitely. And that whole Milan then train thing, it highlights smart travel planning, doesn't it? Sometimes the best route isn't the most obvious one. It's about being strategic. And speaking of strategy, their accommodation in Venice was clever too. They didn't stay right on the island, which can be super expensive.
Ah, okay. Where did they stay?
Just on the mainland, apparently only a quick, 10-minute bus ride away.
For it.
Yeah, that kind of thinking ahead can really stretch your budget further,
Yeah.
without really losing out on the Venice experience day to day.
Right, makes sense. So they get into Venice, late afternoon, probably exhausted, and their first meal, unexpectedly amazing. Just a simple, spicy arrabbiata sauce, but they said it was some of the best food they had in Venice. What a great way to start.
Sets the tone, doesn't it?
It really does. And Venice kept delivering on the food front. Okay, picture this. It's 10 a.m., they're looking for coffee, and they find this bar cafe pulling fresh focaccia pizza out of the oven. Looked amazing, apparently.
At 10 a.m. pizza.
Yep. They couldn't resist, tried it, and boom, instant obsession. They actually keep going back to that same spot for more.
Ah, love it.
And they learned something interesting, too, in Italy. Often you have to cut your own pizza. It doesn't come pre-sliced, usually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a thing. A fun little cultural difference. And that 10 a.m. pizza story, it really captures the magic of just being spontaneous, right? You don't always find the best stuff by sticking rigidly to a plan. Sometimes it's about seeing something amazing and just going for it.
Exactly. Letting your curiosity lead. And we absolutely have to talk gelato, of course. They found this one spot in Venice, became one of their top 3 favorites overall. The key. Fewer flavors, but super fresh, high-quality stuff. And it had great reviews.
Quality over quantity. Makes sense for good gelato.
Totally. Oh, and they also found a tiny Nutella croissant that was apparently incredible, just packed full. Those little indulgent treats often stick with you.
Definitely. But beyond stuffing themselves with pizza and gelato,
Yes.
the main activity they really emphasized for Venice was just getting lost.
Yes. The classic Venice advice.
It really is. I mean, sure, there are museums, historical sites, all definitely worth seeing, but they found, like many people do, that the best way to experience Venice is just to wander. No fixed plan. That's how you stumble upon the really charming hidden corners. It leads to a much more sort of authentic feel for the city.
I love that. And even when they did have a bit of a plan, there were surprises, like the Aperol Spritz.
Ah, the ubiquitous spritz.
Right, but they noticed in Italy, it often comes served with an olive.
Oh, interesting. Did they like it?
Yeah, they said it actually worked really well, added something nice. And here's another surprise. They actually enjoyed eating at a chain restaurant.
Oh. You usually try to avoid those, right?
Yeah, often. But they found the pasta and pizza there were still really, really good quality. It's a good reminder, I guess, that sometimes even familiar places can deliver if the standards are high.
Good point. Quality ingredients matter wherever you are.
And back to the gelato for a sec. The sheer amount consumed.
Uh-oh. How much are we talking?
They admitted getting it, even when they weren't really craving it that badly. Just because, well, you're in Venice as well, right?
Haha. That's the spirit. Seize the gelato.
Pretty much. Dark chocolate and cherry were mentioned as favorites. And then, fittingly, on their last morning in Venice, before catching the train to Florence, they went back.
Back where?
To that first coffee and focaccia pizza place. The one that started the whole obsession.
Oh, that's great. Full circle.
Yeah, a perfect carb-loaded goodbye to Venice.
That's lovely. It's like creating your own little travel traditions, isn't it? Those small moments often mean the most.
Definitely. Okay, so on to Florence. They switched gears, found a much more affordable hotel there. Big plus, free breakfast every morning.
Always a win for the budget.
And Florence was special for them too, right? Because they'd studied abroad there before.
Yeah, they mentioned that. So there was already a connection, a familiarity, even though that study trip got cut short, apparently.
Right, so this felt like a proper return.
And connecting back to the food theme, in Florence, they made a point of looking for variety. It wasn't just pasta and pizza anymore.
Oh, like what?
They found a great cafe that did really good fresh salads. They said it was a welcome break from, quote, the monotony of pasta and pizza.
Ha-ha. I can see that after a while, even in Italy.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that, balance is key to feeling good when you're traveling and eating out constantly. Variety helps.
True. But they still found amazing gelato.
Oh, yes. A place called Sprino in Florence. They declared it hands down the best.
Wow. High praise. What made it so good?
Just really unique, super fresh flavors, apparently. A new champion was crowned.
Okay. Noted for future reference. And here's a totally unexpected find.
Go on.
All-you-can-eat sushi. In Florence.
No way. Sushi.
Yep. Said it was surprisingly affordable and hit the spot when they were craving something totally different after, weeks of Italian food. Goes to show, follow those cravings.
Oh, that's brilliant. And this brings us to something really interesting they talked about, related to a famous sandwich spot in Florence.
Ah, the Florentine sandwiches, yes.
They tried the pork and the prosciutto, but it wasn't just about the sandwich. This experience kind of triggered a really big insight for them.
Okay.
It was about overcoming this fear of eating bread.
Fear of bread. Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about being genuinely terrified of carbs before, worried about weight gain, all that stuff. But on this trip, something clicked. They consciously decided to embrace carbs, to see bread, pasta, all of it as energy, as necessary for happiness, for actually experiencing the local food culture.
That sounds really liberating.
Exactly. They called it food freedom. Seeing food as fuel, enjoying it without judgment, without overthinking everything. It's a powerful shift in mindset, isn't it? It goes way beyond just what's on your plate.
Absolutely. That's a huge takeaway.
Yeah.
And sticking with practicalities for a second, another money-saving tip, getting the rental car for Tuscany.
Right. Heading out of the city.
Instead of a pricey taxi to the airport or rental place, they use some kind of local transport, like an overground train or bus.
Ah, the local options. Always cheaper.
Cost them like €1.50 compared to what a taxi would have been. Massive saving. That kind of local knowledge is gold for travelers.
Totally agree. Okay, so rental car acquired. Onward to Tuscany.
Yes. And the foodie vacation theme just exploded in Tuscany. It kicked off with a really wholesome homemade meal, lots of fresh vegetables.
Ah, a nice change of pace after city restaurants.
Definitely. But it was quickly followed by Cassio e Pepe, another Aperol spritz, and shared pizzas. So the indulgence continue, just maybe in a more relaxed, homey setting.
Sounds idyllic, but it wasn't all just eating, was it? There was that run they mentioned.
Oh, right. The early morning run in Tuscany.
Yeah.
5 a.m. wake-up call.
Yeah, and not just for fitness, right? They said it was more about needing to de-stress, clear their head, just relax.
Yeah, despite it being really hilly, apparently. Tough terrain.
Yeah.
And they even mentioned chafing.
Ha-ha.
Huh.
Oh, the glamour of travel.
Totally relatable, though. But the point was, it wasn't about burning calories. It was about feeling strong, present, kind of a moment of self-care within the trip.
That's a great perspective. Travel can be an internal journey, too, not just seeing new places.
So true. But, okay, back to the food.
Yeah.
Because, Tuscany, there was one meal, 7 people.
Uh-huh.
They estimated they ate 30 pizzas between them.
30? Are you serious?
Oh, that's what they said. Apparently, they stopped filming because they were just enjoying the moment too much, which kind of says it all, doesn't it? Just pure enjoyment.
Wow. That's impressive feasting.
Definitely. They also explored a cute Tuscan town, mentioned a cheese store that was super smelly, but the cheese was amazing.
The best kind of cheese store.
Right. Picked up a little bracelet, too. Just those small sensory moments that make travel memorable.
And the wine tasting. Can't forget that in Tuscany.
Oh, absolutely not. They talked about going into these cool cellars, tasting lots of different wines, called it an amazing cultural experience.
Yeah, you really get a feel for the place doing that. And they stayed with family, too, right? In Cortona.
Yes, at an aunt's house. which gave it that even more local